Hello, Virgo, to another timeless reading of yours. Please bear in mind a few things before we get started. If you're here for Virgo being in your sun rising and or Jupiter position, this reading may provide universal justice. If you are here for Virgo being in your moon, Mercury, and or Venus position, you may be in search of emotional redemption, where you may feel interested in checking out my sister channel in the description box below. You'll find a link on how to get there. Content is timeless, ladies and gentlemen. I know we don't like to probably go back in time. However, the timeless messages are there for a reason. So should it feel compelling to you to browse or to await for new, I look forward in you doing so. Feminine and masculine energies within a reading are non-gender specific. Take what is yours and leave the rest behind. All right, Virgo, I mean, It's funny, I feel like this reading could be very ironic. It's like the ether does not want to read for you. It's not that they're disappointed. More so like bored. Oh, yeah, they're bored. They're bored. They're bored in some of the decision makings that you've been doing. Like, you keep gaslighting yourself. You're bored. This is weird. And then not getting much for you. It's like, I'm getting a lot, don't get it twisted. I'm getting a lot, but at the same time, it's like, nah, we really don't want to proceed. I mean, obviously here you see the Eight of Swords, right? And, excuse me. Got it. So it's like, whomever's listening to this reading may understand that they were created. It took something else to give you the permission to exist. And now that you're existing, you have a chance to do just that. Yet if there's no peace to be found in the realms that you are existing, whether it's feeling your heartbeat, feeling your breath, feeling your emotions, feeling peace, feeling tranquil. If you get robbed of those opportunities, are you really actually existing? Or are you subtly surrounded by distractions that give you the notion that it actually is impossible to pull back and live life lusciously? Like, there are a lot of excuses that you come up with to excuse why you can't find something better. And that has a lot to do with subtle patterns that you've created over the longest times of your existence, excuses, repetitive words that your subconsciousness just kind of absorbed as the real deal. However, your subconscious does not rule what you go through as an individual in life. That's your consciousness. That's your ability to discern or understand consent, or understand left and right, to understand right from wrong, and just the parallelisms that life has to offer, so that you can understand a navigational force between one thing and another thing interacting with one another. And as you trot through life, can you feel that feeling? Can you feel that embrace, and also understand when it keeps you locked up to the point where you can't exist anymore? When you don't remember to breathe, when you don't remember to pull back, that yes, you may have children and you're responsible for all your children and your marriage and whatever kind of relationships you have, 1 or 2 or 3 of them, like whatever distractions you have, one, you understand some of those choices, majority of those choices were made by you. And there might be a little tiny fraction of somebody else that you may know, because I don't see them show up in this reading, that they have actually been arranged to be together, all right, been matchmaker of. But in a way, that's also something that they lined up to be. There is an weird consciousness that kind of goes over the idea that a person has chosen all of their experience, even if they're in the consequence of being victimized by a certain experience. And then when some victims go through this many level stages of healing, they turn into being survivors. And then when survivors go into different methods of healing, they don't deem themselves needing a label of surviving or needing to be a hero of their own cause, because they can internalize that perhaps this is everything that they were meant to experience, because they chose the lessons that were to come in experiencing these things. And oftentimes you find yourself in a position where not having spoken out limits the possibility of somebody else speaking out on the same subject. Yet if there's two opposing situations being triggered the same way, and one finally unleashes themselves, it might give permission for the other person to unleash themselves too. And this is all, again, part of the parallelisms that we share with one another, that we may never cross paths, or we may eventually cross paths. However, it's all kind of interconnected. It's all outwardly connected too. It's in a webbing. And most often than not, most of the things that we experience in life have a lot to do with the fact that we don't understand some of the things that we experience. So we are bound by the emotions and the sensation and the consequences of that experience, and think that that is all that there is to know. When we don't understand that that was a multitude of tiers of lesson, in that you just may have learned lesson one. And within that structure, it also has a structure, and that structure can control it. And there's something always externally in charge of something that you think you have no control over, okay? And letting go of that, learning to be humble, learning to be in the flow with life rather than against it, rather than out of the flow, rather than multitude of excuses and blaming other people of how they hurt you. Stepping back and realizing that while you're stepping back, you're also letting go of that self-sabotage. And you may then become very like, whoa, I've never felt this way before, because all of a sudden you're very fucking vulnerable. You're vulnerable in a way that is brand new to you, and you may have never learned how to be loved in that vulnerability. The ether is here to remind you that to ask for love in that vulnerability by an external force would be another paradox of inevitability of chaos happening to you, because there is no external love that can validate what it is that you are. It has to come from your own existence and your own computing, even if it is coming from dark words and dark contrasting parallels of how you think you are. Because the fact that you may have self-sabotaging words to yourself, or have negative influences, or there are voices in your head, those are just perspectives on how anti they may be in your life, and learning what they may require in order to be for life is maybe the ability for you to recognize that you can gain control in whatever makes you feel that you are not in control. $2024 will be an annular countdown to how much of the external force you will allow to bring chaos in your life before you do something about it. With the Eight of Pentacles here. All right, feeling the pressure of the density of like, there is nothing that you can escape from feeling this. You need to either sit back, stand back, sit down, investigate, and focus. Okay. And you'll know what I mean. Five of Cups. This isn't sadness. Yeah, I was going to say this isn't sadness. This is about understanding the parallel ways that the uniformity of the universe works. All right, there is no uniformity, and then there is that uniformity that there is no uniformity. All right, there is a complexity to the contrasting way that the universe lives and outgrows and becomes in its abundant. There's, how can I explain this? There's multifaceted ways that this quantum magic evolves itself to being an example of Earth and galaxy. All right, even the weed that we associate itself to kind of like destroy the garden bed is a beautification of what the earth has to offer. All right, and that is what you're understanding slowly and subtly, how emotions do not cater to your quote-unquote destiny. Emotions is a space created that, yes, you seek in having negotiations and relations with people through the heart space, but that is due to the fact that you being able to tune in or tune out the fragility of empathy that you have as an individual of being a Homo sapien to another and vice versa. That is just the experience of being able to share an auric field and a presence with an individual, or also then feel it in a time and space of millions of miles or hundreds of miles in between two variables, because it is irrelevant in the magic of light to not feel connected with anyone at any given time. So to understand that is a rhythm of attuning oneself through so many fucking emotions, Virgo, that getting up to that high accolade of sustainable energy is such a euphoria that you don't understand how you got there. But then reflecting back on exactly everything that you experience, your mind and your heart and your gut will trigger you through all those emotional experiences that you were like, fuck no, I don't want to go through that again. Fuck no, I don't want to deal with that again. Fuck no, I won't allow that to be in my zone or shit like that. You're learning to consent of your own inner beings and your own inner self. And you understand psychologically you're being guided and pulled by your emotions to understand these analysis and these understandings and these wise points. Yet once you understand the lesson, you realize that the formula of the emotions doesn't mean it's emotions that give you the euphoria of life. It's an outcome. It's something that can happen. It is not the thing that makes it happen, okay? You do not become more or less a person just because you may have more empathy to one situation than another. It doesn't make you more or less a bad person. It's kind of what I'm trying to allude to here, all right? And the bigger picture of that is the ether doesn't care about your emotions. She cannot show up and baby and coddle you through your emotions. For that is the human experience. Once you're done emoting, that's when ether can live with what is left, because that's what is left with your light and of absence of light, aka your darkness, to see how well it meshes in the overall ethereal light. All right. Virgo, Virgo. There's a lot of other like signs that are just so nosy about Virgo energy. I think they always have been and forever will be. You know, there's a secret code behind that. and the secret being my Virgo is the feminine energy of all the other astrological signs. If you have to dig deep in order to find feminine energy in other signs, in Virgo's case, is right there on the fucking, it's right there. But the fact that it's so dominant in feminine energy, a lot of people are bruised by Virgo energy, and then they blame that shit and say it's narcissism. No, bitch, it's not narcissism just because I'm prideful of what the fuck I'm thinking and what the fuck I'm internally computing and how it's externally landing in your auric field to digest. Card will come out, man, no matter what. I just saw that card and it showed up. Anyway, strength card. So the emotional card, all right? The ether teaching you about emotions, the valuable lesson as to why you, the Homo sapien, get to have these feelings. All right, it's not a get that you have this gift that someone bestows you. You literally are integrated to feel a certain way. All right, and however you feel is different than how another person feels, but it doesn't mean that two people can't share a teardrop, okay? So it is a beautiful thing to be an expressive, emotive individual, yet it is not part of the accolades of being a good light being, a Christic being, okay? Karayasata, love being, all right? Karayasata being just a vibration, and understanding understanding that is sitting with yourself here. The Hanged Man here also alludes the need of that, all right? Major Arcana is here, all right? Strength and the Hanged Man, saying that overall this is a notion to really look in the eye of opportunity and to lean in towards and accept for what it is that it may offer you at this time. And what it may offer you shouldn't be triggered by me. It should be triggered by your wanting to be able to want to lean in. And however you lean into this opportunity is whatever you're going to get while having leaned into this opportunity. Fucking A, Major Arcana. The Chariot. All right. A lot of... I was going to say, good luck. Two of Pentacles. Good luck, because, like I said in the beginning, Ether did not want to speak for you, Virgo, okay? It didn't mean any harm in saying that. It just meant that there are lots of things happening within you that give you reason to trust the things that you could be doing. Those are all reasonable choices that you could be doing. You are not only a Virgo energy, of earth-earthly energy, and have that ability to take your ego and tame it, but there's responsibility attached to that for you to recognize when there's certain emotions that are just in need to getting control over, that you're putting that onto yourself as a label. Once you understand that that tiny little fragment of what it is allows a multitude of wavelengths to be set across, that you're the one not in control of letting go of negative and allowing positive. Either want to refine this opportunity for yourself in a moving time of 6 months here, whenever you're seeing this message. In the next 6 months, there are very big and small situations that pop up and give you that clarity of like, oh, okay, I get it. Oh, okay, I get it. Oh, not this way, but that way. Okay, all right. Listen in or listen out. Like, exit the room or enter the room. There are subtle things that are going to happen that are going to force you to act, force you to make a decision, and they come in slow opportunities. I mean, you can't really beg them to come. They will come at a speed when you will learn what the lesson was supposed to be. All right, I'm being told that that's all that I will leave it as for you today, Virgo. I'm wishing you a wonderful morning, noon, or night, wherever you are in the ether of this time and space. And may you keep flowing, growing, and glowing. Take care.